And here we go, Dodge fans. This is Gause Garage coming to you from lovely South Venice, Florida, with a Dodge Garage exclusive. Moved some cars around and got them up and running, ready to put them to bed for the summertime. But I wanted to actually talk about each one of these cars and the backstory in the production and the Dodge Chrysler Plymouth story on every one of them. So I guess we'll start out with this Coronet RT, seeing as how this was the first badged muscle car from Dodge. Plymouth had its counterpart, the GTX. These featured the newly released 440 big block, high cubic inch, high performance race car, and as you know, the RT emblem on the front stands for road and track. What does that mean? Well, you drive it on the road to work during the week, and then on the weekends you take it to the track. This particular one came from Long Island. It's the very first RT from Dodge. Dodge debuted the RT emblem and the concept of a high-performance street car that you could take to the racetrack on the 67 Coronet only. It wasn't until 1968 that you got the Dodge Charger and the associated Scat Pack with the Super B 383 and the Dodge Dart, which the 68, the red one on the end, which we'll cover in a minute, is part of that Scat Pack. So, very nice car. First RT for Dodge. It's got a 4-speed with the 354 Dana, which is called in subsequent years the Track Pack. This car came from Herbie Dodge. Those of you who have seen this car on my channel before are quite familiar with it. It's a real deal car, and there are friends of mine in Florida that grew up in the Long Island area, and they know this car very well. It was campaigned through the 80s with all of the car shows there at Herbie Dodge in Long Island. I bought it from the original owner's son. The original owner bought it in April, received it April of '67. He went into Vietnam, so the car sat for a couple years, and then he restored it around the 2012 timeline. The car was completely restored to stock. It's got all the original date-quoted equipment, engine, transmission. And then his son, the original owner, died in '17, exactly 50 years of ownership. And he passed away in 2017. His son took over and had it for 5 years, and then put it on consignment in 2022, which is where I found it. And then what I did was actually took it to the next nth level to be as close to stock as possible. Definitely not a concourse car, but beautiful. I've got the keys in them, the battery's hooked up. Let's give it a start and a listen. But first, hey, let's take a look at this interior details. This car is beautiful. It was immaculately preserved by the original owner's family. It's a beautiful running car. Inland shifter on the console from the factory. You did not get numbers match in '67. It was not possible. All you get is date coding. So you can look at all the numbers, which I did. The radiator, the engine, they're all date coded. Everything's date coded to the car except for the alternator. Very nice car. Very beautiful. Very well behaved. All right. And that's 67. That's when the muscle car era started for Dodge. As you know, GM had already been in the muscle game with the GTO, etc., since 64. By 67, Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth jumped into the performance game. And then we're going to skip ahead 4 years later. Here's the first original Dodge Demon. This particular car is a butterscotch car. It's from the Los Angeles plant. It's a 340. It's got some options. It's an A31 performance axle package from the factory, which is $391. Sure grip in the rear with maximum cooling, and it has no power items whatsoever. So what you look at is a Demon with a column shift automatic. It's not center console, it's just a column shift from the Los Angeles plant. You kind of almost know what somebody did. Is they ordered a bare bones 340 in this lightweight car. No power items, manual disc brakes where you could get it to stop. Anyway, the engine was long gone a long time ago, so the people that restored it, they put in a 360 stroker, which it comes out to a 408 cubic inch. And I took it up in 2022 to Big Daddy Don Garlitz, where he signed the car. But one of the notable things about this is Dusters, the Plymouth counterpart, never had scoops on it from the factory. Only the Demon did, and Dodge cars. So you got holes in there. I don't know if you can see them. And those holes coincide with these opening scalloped holes in the air cleaner. So what they do is when the hood closes, they're very near each other. So when you get like on the drag strip and you're doing 100 miles an hour, you are most certainly getting air fed to that carburetor. So the faster the car goes, the more air it gets, and consequently the more faster. Anyway, here's the window, or the data tag. It's EL5. There's your A31 performance axle package and the M1XX interior, which is houndstooth. When I first got the car, I disliked this very much, but then I found out these interiors are highly collectible. You had to pay for that crazy cloth interior. And hell, all the manufacturers did it back in the 68, 69, 70, 71 through early 70s. You had AMC doing it, you had Porsche doing it. You had all the different manufacturers putting these crazy cloth interiors with designer names and stuff like that. Well, anyway, let's look at the data tag here real quick. Okay. And, of course, just a reminder for all you high-performance Mopar people. There you have it. Okay. And this is the last year that this car was part of the Dodge Scat Pack. Our 67 over here was before the Scat Pack. It was only the next year, but then 71 concluded it, and the Demon 340 was certainly one of the last members added to that Dodge Performance grouping, which is called the Scat Pack, denoted by that beautiful sticker in the corner window there. So whoever built the car, they set it up with all the gauges and everything, and this car scoots really well. As a matter of fact, let's start it up so you can get an idea of just how nice and how well built this car is. Okay, here we go. And the funny thing is about this Demon has a funny story about it. for the simple fact that it goes back to the Plymouth Barracuda. You may wonder why I'm bringing that up, is because in the '69 model year, the Barracuda, the fastback, the notchback, and the convertible, that was the last year of them on the A-body line. Chrysler moved them over to a new platform called the E-body line, and they dubbed it the Cuda. Of course, you had a Barracuda model, but everyone knows the new E-bodies as the Cudas and the Challengers. So the A-body line for Plymouth was left without a sport model. In '70, they created the Plymouth Duster, and the Duster was very simply a Valiant front end with this semi-fastback added to it, and they sold almost 300,000 units, and basically Dodge was pissed off. They competed against each other, and when you have the lower line Plymouth coming in with almost a 300,000 volume sales year, that upset a lot of people. So for the first time in history, Dodge put out their own Duster model, basically, in the form of a Dodge Demon. It's got the Dodge Dart front end, not the Valiant, but see the grill on that? That's a Dodge Dart front end. And very simply, they tried to mirror the Duster, and it's the first time that Dodge ever went to the Plymouth 108-inch wheelbase. When you look at Darts, and all the Dodges were A-bodies were 111-inch wheelbase. They're 3 inches longer. Even the Challenger is 3 inches longer than the Cuda. So what you got is Dodge finally went to this small wheelbase, put out the Demon, and because of the controversial nameplate of being a Demon, sales were not so well. So these things didn't sell as well as the Duster. Consequently, when you look at today, a Demon like this will book well over a Duster, the equivalent Duster. It just got a higher book value. It's rare. People like them. They want them. And now, when you got like concerns as far as nameplates, they've got glaring Demons and the 170 with all these crazy badges on it. No one cares anymore. So anyway, the big thing is these were amazing cars. That's the first Dodge Demon. Okay, let's move over to the final Dodge Garage in the Gause Garage lineup. Here is another car with another interesting story. 68 Dodge Dart 383 4-speed build sheet, rotisserie restored. It's PP1 red from the factory, and it's real deal, and this car rips for a stock street car. And we can all thank Norm Kraus, or Mr. Norm, the owner and operator of Grand Spalding Dodge out of Chicago. It was around 1967 that he was told by the factory at Chrysler in the horsepower wars, because everybody was starting to put bigger engines in smaller cars, especially from GM and Ford, and Chrysler was not keeping up. So Norm Kraus, a performance-minded dealer, said, hey, why can't we put a big block in these little Darts? And the Chrysler said, it can't be done. So what he did is, long story short, he had his people put in a big block into this little Dart. In '67, he took it up to the factory, showed them it could be done, and there were about 500 of these made in '67. But then this one is a 1968. This is the first time that you could actually order it from the dealer, from a brochure, and actually put your order in. Out of 43,000 Darts, there were 991 of these made. About 1.5% of orders in the 4-speed. There were about 1,200 or so in the automatic. You could get them in automatic. This is a 4-speed, which is far more rare and probably the more desirable these days. And let's have a look in the engine here. Okay. And there you have it. A big block, courtesy of Mr. Norm, from the factory. As a result of his efforts, the factory started installing them, and they did some weird stuff. You could not get power steering whatsoever because they did the body drop at the production line. They didn't want to make a special line and boost the costs up, so they wanted to be able to put a big block in there and still put the body drop on the production line. So they didn't. They said, hey, you can't get power steering on it, which is, you know, probably the right thing to do. And also you have block hugger over here. is the block hugger manifold. That, on the passenger side, is one of those rare block hugger manifolds. And as a result of those, they did restrict a little bit. They held the horsepower down. But again, they wanted to be able to do the body drop. When you have to modify the body, then you're looking at an added cost and whatnot. So anyway, so let's give this one a listen. This is a beautiful car, beautiful running. It has a 391 sure grip in it with the 383 big block. This car rips. I mean, for a street car, it's an amazing ride. Okay, 1968, you got black buttons on the door handles, which is correct. For some reason, they went to plastic in 68, black plastic. I don't know why, but if you have a 68 car, most of them in the normal production range will have those black plastic push buttons on the handles. Okay, again, just like the 67, this is an early production one. It has the inland shifter. Okay, let me get my selfie stick pushed down and right up the camera. Here we go. All right. Come on, baby. Ah, there we go. This is a cold-natured big block. I'm telling you. So, this one also was rotisserie restored from the factory. Or not from the factory, by the restorer, rather. Sorry. There we go. It's happier now. So there you have it. That's the story on the production, the facts, and what happened with the market conditions, which is why these cars were produced. And here they are, all restored, beautiful, still running, driven regularly. And thanks for tuning in. This is Gause Garage with Dart Garage. Thank you.